God raises people from God. Thank you. Now, each time God wants to raise a people, he hides himself in a man as an incarnate spirit. When you hear the word incarnate, please, I would like you to listen. Why incarnate men are the best men in eternity is something I want you to hear. Please, I would like you to hear this. The difference, the capital difference between Joseph, David, John the Baptist, and Jesus. If you bring these three, David, Joseph, John the Baptist, they were very great men. Very great. But the capital difference between Jesus and three of them is attention. Why it was three of them that came to transfiguration and took the nature of celestial tabernacle? It is because they understand attention. Nobody is bigger than his attention. If I ask us to stand up and we all stand, our attention to God will vary. Let me say it again. Our attention to ourselves and to God will vary. Now, qualities are high quality men have power of God to conquer distraction. Distraction is not meant to be fought. It is conquered by gagging. Somebody says, Shepherd, you keep on sharing mystery. I said, because I don't get distracted. That time the service ended yesterday. The moment I backed, I was done with the meeting. When if this meeting ends by 4 and I close this door, I'm done with this all. Listen, when I say I am done 100%. Now, do you know, you're not supposed to know it. Because that is what makes men gods. You don't struggle with attention. When Satan wants to make people ordinary, he depletes them. Listen, those who are related to me, brothers and sisters, my mother, even my biological father when he was alive, they knew that I'm not a problem solver to them. My mother knew that I'm not a problem solver. So she doesn't try to call my number and try to ask me for money. Maybe you didn't hear what I said. I've never, all my sisters, brothers, I will be 61 in June. This is altar. None of them have ever called me one day and asked me to give them money. It's an abomination to them. They know it. Not one day. Ask any of them. Do you know why? They know that I'm not for that. They didn't know now I am 60 plus. It's not now they know. They know when I was this small. I showed it they didn't even try. Because I live with them in a way that they should know. I made them to know. I made them to know that I'll be very, very bad if I'm distracted. You see, because not being distracted is going to bring me to the realm of God. If you go to my phone, it doesn't ring. Because all locals know that I don't want to be called. Somebody called me and they said, Daddy, I off my phone. That's stupid. Quickly. When she died again, she knew I was up. You see, because when the phone rang, I was busy. And that voice doesn't look like somebody who is busy. Somebody say, yeah. What can anybody do? I'm not changing. I said the difference between Moses, between Jesus, Elijah, between Jesus, John the Baptist, Joseph. When Joseph said, I will die, why death came into his mind is the gap distraction created. I said it is the what? That introduced death into his mind. There will always be a hollow of discouragement created by distraction. It's not what I'm concentrating on. I want you to see 17 of the book of Matthew. Somebody said that I should be paying school fees. I said, you gave birth to a child and that I'm the one. You don't get sense. That means school fees was not in your mind when you got pregnant. Matthew chapter 17 from verse 1. And after 6 days, Jesus took Peter, James, and John, his brother, and bring them up into a high mountain to go ahead.
And was transfigured before them.
Yes.
And his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light.
And there appeared unto him Moses.
Elias talking with him.
Number 3.
Then answered Peter and said unto Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, one for Moses, and one for Elias.
Go ahead.
Why he yet spoke,
behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them.
And behold,
now, excuse me, a bright cloud has overshadowed 3 and left 3. Overshadowed 3 incarnate gag men and left 3 distracted men. Spending longer time on it is a treasure. In 21:3, there is a presence. There are certain enemies we can only defeat from presence. So God, when God want to raise people, he raises tabernacles of wood. In 21:3 and 4 of Revelation, the Bible said the tabernacle of God is with men. The tabernacle of God is a God. And then 2 of them, we raise a people. I think we should look at that scripture. We raise a people, they share together. Behold, I heard a voice out of heaven saying,
behold, the tabernacle of God is with men,
and
he will dwell with them,
and they shall be
his people,
and God himself
shall be with them and be their God.
Now, God cannot be with them except a God is with them. A human tabernacle of Yahweh made in ideology. And then they will raise a people of destiny they own together. God and the God. So the God man, we attract God, keep him, and then we share the destiny of God with men because he has shared in the thought of God, ideologically. So in chapter 32, verse 7, God called Moses and said, the people you brought out. Let's look at that. He called Israel people of Moses. And the Lord said to Moses, say, go thee down for thy people. That is Israel. And these people that are Moses' people, in verse 11, are also God's people. So before they became the people of God, they were people of Moses. Can I tell you something? Before we did 11 and I will leave it, please listen to this. One of the ways to know people's value is what captures their attention. Where their heart is. Small people always like things that are small. They will always like to discuss nonsense. They will think small thoughts. They harbor distractions. In the count of years, in the what? In the count of years, men are separated from themselves. But I would like you to understand something. There are different ideologies that rule people. Different. That I told you that since I became a human being, that nobody in my family have ever called me and said I should give him money. The people that even try it are my distant cousins. Distant relatives. People that are related to me and they're far. These ones that are close in the house know that I'm not there for them. We were in Galilee there. Did you see them coming to my house? We are all there now. You see, to help them. Not to help them the way they want me to help them. Maybe you didn't hear what I said. I say I am learned enough to help people the way I should help them. I help them intelligently. Not trying to help them to devalue me. What is help as far as I'm concerned is I'm already preaching. I took a global meeting to a particular village. We paid so much. We paid and brought that type of meeting to somebody's door. And then somebody didn't get part of it, didn't take advantage of it. Of a meeting like that was brought to the door. That was brought. No, he doesn't have eyes to take advantage of that. A particular buildings are going on in Galilee there. Ikeju will come all the way, supervise it. And my brothers who are doing nothing anywhere serious, millions of naira is going down to that building every day. They don't care. They don't care about how they can help and be part of the glory that is with them. Now, excuse me, if somebody decide to die, it is not given to you to help a man that have will to die. Let me say it again. I say it is not given to you as a human being to help somebody that have will to die. Particularly when he's already behaving it. In case you're hearing me, God didn't give you opportunity to take over people's life. And this intelligence I'm sharing is what I know. So when you come to me, I will help you the way I should. Not the way you want. It doesn't matter whether you misunderstand me or not. You see, because some people, that's where they were trapped. That's where you have a senseless brother, and they keep on telling you that I must keep on giving him money. The first two you gave him, where is it? He squandered the first money. He's asking for another one. They gave him. He squandered it and came back the third time. He should kill himself. Why you're trying to look for money to give him is because you don't have sense to know that you cannot make him big from outside. There are young men that if they start squandering money, what you do for them is to look for girls like them and marry for them, so that the girl can keep them from you. Now, when he gets married, you should encourage the girl to take in. And then when the girl conceive and give birth, the child and the wife will drag two of them will combine and drag the boy from you. Then you will rest. If you didn't marry for him, he will keep coming to you. And there is no amount of money. If you give him 100 million, he will reduce it to 1,000. From West. Somebody say, yeah. That is the thought that brought me. 32:11. 32:11 of the book of Isaiah. And Moses besought the Lord his God and said, Lord, why dost thou wrath against thy people?
Which thou hast brought
forth. That is
forth.
it. Because the only opportunity God has to share destiny with men is to share it first with a man. Listen, if you're hearing me and you want to be rich, get ideology that makes people rich. A thinking that separates men from poverty. Revealing Christ, the Son of God, made Jesus the most important man that ever lived. There is a difference between birth, revealing, and hard work. Revealing Christ, the Son of God, made Jesus the most important man that ever lived. When John was born, John was captured with hard work. Jesus was captured with self-revelation, with revealing Christ. I say when John was born, John didn't care about himself. He cared about the work of God. Two of them are different. I said John didn't care about himself. He cared about the work of God. The best way to work the work of God